Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. Today we will be presenting three situations and the analysis for the each situations. Let's start with our first analysis of a short family conversation that took place in a living room between a father and his two children. We will be analyzing this conversation based on communicative events and other relevant communication elements. This conversation took place in a family's living room. It involved a father talking to his son, Hasif, and daughter, Zulaika. The tone was casual, and the situation seems to be during their after school time. The father was checking on their progress with homework and offering help when needed. This is a synchronous face to face conversation and it gives us insight into informal family communication. Here, as you can see, is the full transcription of the conversation. It begins with with the father initiating a check-in with Hasif about his homework, then moving to the Zulaika, and finally going back to help Hasif. The conversation includes both verbal and non-verbal communication, such as nodding, walking, and slight emotional reactions like Zulaika's small scream. We analyze this conversation using the components of a communicative event. The setting is the living room, and the participants are the father and his two children. The conversation has a clear purpose, which is to monitor the children's learning and provide assistance. The tone is very warm and playful, especially when the father uses phrase like, "What subject is this, man?" The act of sequence starts with the father asking questions, receiving responses, and offering help. The communication is face-to-face, informal, and reflects a nurturing family dynamics.
Next, in this part of the analysis, we looked at the contextual presuppositions or the background knowledge the father brings into the conversation. He assumes that the children's tasks are easy or manageable, especially when he says things like, "That must be very easy, man." Okay. However, this leads to a slight miscommunication with Zuleika, who reacts with a small scream and disagrees. This shows that although the father means well, there's a gap in how he perceives the difficulty versus how the child experiences it. This conversation includes both verbal and non-verbal feedback cues. The children use words like "yeah" or actions like nodding to show understanding. Zuleika also tutted, showing her frustration. A key part of this conversation is Zuleika's this preferred response. When her father says her homework must be easy, she suddenly says no and even screams a little. This is unexpected and emotionally charged, which temporarily shifts the tone of conversation. It highlights how children might feel invalidated when their struggles are downplayed. Although the father holds a natural position of authority in the household, the power dynamics in this conversation are quite balanced. He uses a soft, nurturing approach by checking on his kids gently and offering help instead of demanding answers. His informal language, like "man," adds to the relaxed vibe. The children are also comfortable enough to admit their need help and even disagree with him, like when Zuleika protests. This shows that while there is a clear power structure, it's not overpowering. So, this communication style allows the children to express themselves freely.
Hi, my name is Zarifana binti Muhammad Hanif and my metric number is 1240060. So we move on to the situation 2, which is a conversation between Zuleika and her father Hanif. Let me first share the conversation. So from the conversations, I can include 6 types analysis of communicative events. There are genre, topic, purpose, setting, key, which is emotional tone, and participants. Firstly, it is a genre. We can see that it is an informal conversation or interactions between family members. Secondly, the topic that they're discussed in the conversation is school experience, eating habits or dieting, asking about her sisters, which is the father asking the daughter about her sisters, and lastly, the homework. Third, the purpose of the conversation is to maintain the relationship between father and daughter. Second, to the daughter try to tell her father about the changing of her lifestyle, and lastly, the father reminds her daughter to finish her homework. Next, setting, which is the place where the conversation happened, and it happened at home in Hanif's office area. After that, key, which is emotional tone, it started with excitement, and then it shift to serious, and then it come back to natural. The lastly is about participants. We have 2 participants here, father and daughter, which is Zulaika, the daughter, and Hanif, the father. I also found some additional analysis, which is contextual presupposition, disprefer response, and lastly, power relations. Contextual presupposition, we can see that the different perspective between Zulaika and her father about eating habits. And this preferred response, we can see that Zulaika delivered the tone correctly, which is when her come back to school, she excited to ask her father about what's her father doing. And lastly, the power relation. The father have the power in this conversation, and the evidence is when her father told Zulaika to do her homework or finish her homework. That's all from me.
My name is Muhammad Akil Haikal bin Kamaruddin. My metric number is 1243001. So for this question 3, the setting is conversation between 2 sisters, which is Farhana and Zulaika over a phone call. The conversation is like how we usually talk to siblings, which means casual, informal, and familiar. Like, oh, really, and I see. It happens in the evening based on what they are doing. For example, in sentence 12, Zulaika said that their mom is getting ready for bed, which means the conversation take place late in the evening. So for the purpose of the call, Farhana wants to check in on Zulaika and the family, like asking about her having dinner yet, and others. And Zulaika responded with she's on diet right now. They also talk about daily life, routines, and what they've been up to, like how Zulaika said in sentence 6 that she's preparing for her school tomorrow, like preparing her books and her clothes. Farhana also want to invite Zulaika to a family feast at Manga's house at second last sentence.
My name is Muhammad Ali Irfan bin Rahimi. My number is 1240058. And continue to the situation 3, sibling phone call. In terms of the intonation between Farhana and her sister Zulaika, there is a caring and family tone, like how you talk to each other in family because they are siblings. And also in terms of the casual humor, also there is a casual humor. For example, in sentence 14, where Zulaika started that she did not eat any dinner yet, the surprise and honesty does give a humorous vibe. And next, in terms of the norms of interaction, they from sentence 1 to sentence 8, they keep turn taking and asking each other question. There is also turn taking, like Farhana asks, then she answers, then Zulaika answers, Zulaika asks, then Farhana answers. And also there's also teasing and excitement showing about an upcoming food and event, such as in sentence 19, where Farhana invited her sister Zulaika to come for the feast at Magna on 26th of April for the feast at Magna's house. And for summary, this situation is basically about how shows family bonding each other, siblings, and in terms of the language, it shows how language used to maintain the relationships, asking how each other do, how each other well, and also share their personal experiences. That's all from me, thank you.